Matt, we have Alien Isolation here. We played this at EGX earlier, and that was a survivor mode. We both quite liked it, if I remember, didn't we?
Yeah. It's out of the horror games that we did try out. Obviously, there was The Evil Within, and while some may not agree with our opinions on that game, I think we did kind of like the direction of the kind of horror it was going for, and some of the suspense and stuff like that. But here you are with the full game, so we got more of an insight into it.
So that's it. We've got a bit more of an insight. This is by Creative Assembly, and it's been published by Sega. Now, Creative Assembly, they've mostly done the Total War games, and they pretty much, that is their back catalogue. So it's interesting to see them like spanning out into the Alien universe. I have to say that this looks quite a nice game, but let's have a look in the options and just go through this quickly. The audio, we've got a couple of sliders for sound effects, music. I'm going to turn the subtitles on for everyone, and we're using the headphones there. So.
One thing, I'm assuming this game's got it, but as we usually like to cover, me being left-handed, are there key bindings, Andy?
Let's go into game. Yep, there is key bindings. It's actually under input mapping. This is a bit confusing. If you go into controller scheme, it just comes up with a control pad first of all.
All right.
And I haven't got mine plugged in at the moment, so that is a bit confusing. But if you go into input mapping, you can actually rebind everything. So if I wanted to just rebind it to P, for example, we can do that. So yeah, it does have your rebinding.
Awesome.
Yeah. We've got sensitivity for both the controller and the mouse. We can invert, and there's also aim assist on this. Although I've been playing it fine with aim assist off, I assume that's going to be better if you play with a controller, and it's also got vibration. But again, probably a controller thing, so my keyboard doesn't have vibration feedback.
I'd say if you wanted to have that kind of horror feeling, it's best to have aim assist off, because then you feel more in control and you've got less aid, really.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess so. I mean, yeah, that would probably be the best way. It's actually got a field of view slider. Now I'm having it on 60 just because recording it knocks a few frames off, and I don't want it to tank too much. But it goes up to 75 and ups to the left for some reason, and it goes down to 47. I don't know why they've done it in the sort of reverse orientation that you usually expect, but hey, that's something to look out for. We've got film grain intensity. Now, I've got this in the mid-range. You can actually whack that all the way up, and it looks like you're playing sort of a really old-fashioned VHS, which is, I feel that's this aesthetics they're trying to get across with this game. So, although, yeah, it does make it look like your monitor's a bit dodgy at times if you have that all the way up. And we've got lots of different things, including motion blur. We've got SAAO standards and HDAO. We've also got isotropic filtering up to 16, sort of all of the usual stuff that you're used to in a game these days. And everything goes up to ultra and it can go down to very low. We're just going to stick it back up to ultra to get the best sort of experience.
Now, one thing I wanted to say is the difference between what we did at EGX and what we're going to try out, you're going to show us here, is you're actually going to go on the campaign mode. When we were at actually EGX, we tried the survivor mode, so it's going to be a little bit different in the fact that you're not going to see the aliens straight away and constantly just have to run away from them. There's going to be other stuff, isn't there?
Yeah, that's it. So I haven't actually tried out the survivor mode yet on the full game. I've just played the campaign mode. So let's just continue there. This is actually on chapter 5, I think it is. I've played up to chapter 7 or 8. So this is about probably about 4 or 5 hours in, I think, in the main story. And like you said, you're not faced with the alien the whole time. Okay, so now it takes up until chapter 4 for you to actually get your sort of motion tracker. So this is the motion tracker, and as you can see, the rest of the screen is blurred out, and you can actually change the focus by right-clicking. So it sort of takes your eye off of all of the detail. And I feel like that's one of the main things with this game. I know that when you played it, Matt, you played it with the Oculus as well, and you were saying that to look.
That was a very different experience because you couldn't. Your field of view was minimalized massively because you had this motion tracker like you do with the PC version of the game that we're on right now, but you could only look at one thing at a time because your field of view was, where what normal kind of field of view would be in real life, basically, if you're focusing on something.
Now, I've just avoided that door's locked. It looks like, but as you can see, there's actually some people there. So it's not just the alien in this game that will attack you. Oh, okay.
Can I point out one thing? When we talked about this at EGX, we talked about our first impressions. We said that you, for the survivor mode, mind you, that there wasn't any weapons other than a flamethrower which had limited ammunition. But in the campaign, as I can see, bottom of the screen right now, you've got a revolver. So how much do the guns actually come into play in this?
Yeah. So like the revolver, as you said, you can use it a fair amount, to be honest. There does seem to be a lot of humans so far, and you can use it to pick them off because everyone, apart from the odd one or two people, seem to be very hostile in the game. But if you do use the weapons, it draws the alien to you. So
and you still can't kill the alien with your gun, even if you had a fair amount of ammunition.
No, it doesn't do anything. And the one thing I have noticed with the revolver is even if you fire off one shot, I don't think we're gonna get attacked by the alien here. If you fire off one shot and you reload, it actually empties the whole weapon.
Oh wow!
And then it doesn't always load it up properly. It's like you said there.
So is that that's not?
It only loaded up 2 rounds.
I'm guessing that's not an intentional thing, or am I wrong?
I don't know. I'm not entirely sure there, but it definitely lumbers the process a lot. In fact, where am I trying to go? I think we need to get through this event.
I mean, it could be quite convenient at times. Like if you wanted to fire one bullet and you didn't want to reload a whole chamber, you just quickly needed 2 more bullets or something. Then I guess it could be quite convenient not to have to wait the whole reload time. But a lot of the time,
yeah,
it could be quite fiddly, I think.
Yeah, I mean that is the one thing with the revolver. You don't need to use it that much, but if you do, then it takes a while to reload. And you'll notice I'm actually sort of putting the flashlight on and off. The flashlight's battery seems to be really crap. It doesn't last long at all. And you need to get flashlight batteries. I haven't actually used that many batteries in the game. The only dark area seems to be the vents. Now, this part here, you can actually update your map, which if we go to and tab, it will update there. But if you look at the scenery, that sort of blends right in, doesn't it? To me, that just looks like it's part of the map.
Yeah.
But you can actually grab that and it updates the map area. So as we're sort of nicely on that area, let's talk about this. When you get a waypoint, it sort of gives you an area just saying, hey, there's something in here, like we need to get into that medical facility. However, you can sort of scroll up and down levels, and it doesn't differentiate which level your objective is on, which is a bit annoying, especially in the early part when you've just got the motion detector.
I guess it's probably better than it's probably better than it's saying this is the exact point you need to be, like rather than having like an emblem stuck right on where you need to go. I guess it kind of begs for a bit of exploration by not doing that, because it will kind of ruin suspense. If you're walking around a room looking for something, I guess there could be some kind of points of interest that you might not see if you went straight to the objective. So I think
Oh yeah.
In some ways, it could kind of create a bit more exploration for you to do.
I mean, I don't mind the fact that it's just this sort of area that you need to look in. It's the fact that it doesn't tell you which level of the map it is. So if we just go back to it like that, it could be this area. It could also be there because we haven't explored this part of the map yet. So it might be over there. see, it doesn't really explain that. It would be nice if the waypoint was just on one level of the map. Although, it sort of does become a slightly more mute point when you get the motion detector, because if you follow the sort of line, as you can see it, the line moves around the top of the motion detector, and that points you to your waypoint. And so you know that that's the way you need to go.
So people, they already know our thoughts about, like, that we thought that the alien was very smart from what me, you, and Steve played. But you said about, like, there's quite a lot of human hostile enemies as well. One thing I guess we haven't really asked or talked about is, what is the AI like with those humans that attack you? Is it just as good as, like, what the aliens like in terms of the way it behaves?
Just tell me where to go, Carl.
No, they have been a bit derpy. I have. Oh, hang on. So I thought something was around. They have been a bit derpy. I've seen, like, someone spaz up to me and then get about half a meter in front of my face and then realise I was there and shoot me. So they haven't been the best in that regard. So that. There is definitely something.
But from what you've played, this isn't. We wouldn't say that this isn't Colonial Marines Part 2 or something like that.
No, I mean they are just sort of there in the. You don't have to interact with them. In fact, it's better if you avoid them. Now this part here, this is like a security hacking tool. So it's a sort of mini game within the game itself, and you sort of have to match up all of the different symbols to sort of get into the next area and use the hacker. I haven't actually failed yet, so I'm not sure what happens.
The passcode should be in there somewhere.
In terms of, have you actually found yourself getting scared quite a lot? Like, with this being a horror game, like, have you ever jumped or kind of crapped yourself?
Yeah, there is actually quite a few occasions where I have jumped, and the alien itself has scared me quite a bit. Later on, it sort of hides in the vents more, and it mixes up the sort of ways it tries to frighten you, which is actually quite nice. I was a bit worried that the fact that it was just lumbering around corridors all of the time might get a bit tiring, and sort of you lose the actual what do you call it, the scare factor. Right, I'm looking for
Have you
the
found the passcode?
code there.
Look, we'll need the physical
Right,
key card too.
1702.
Only
We need to
always
remember
have
this
to
map.
Find him.
Okay, I'll try and remember it.
The other good thing is, which I quite like about it, is the fact that you've got codes
I'm just trying to find out
in the game.
You focus on finding that key
it-
card.
If you don't write them down or remember them, you're screwed.
Yeah, I mean that's fair enough, really. Is there? I know you're hiding under that table. Is there quite a lot of stuff, like opportunities to hide under things and crawl through small spaces there?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, like you're gonna do it now.
Let's just hide under here.
Oh. There we go.
All right. So here's the alien.
What would Alien Isolation be, or a game glance of Alien Isolation be, without actually seeing the alien? You know, so this is very good.
That would be pretty horrible,
Yeah.
wouldn't it? Okay. So he's gonna wander around the corridor, and he does seem to go in an absolutely. He doesn't seem to. He goes different directions all of the time, every single death.
Now, I'm not suggesting you do
Right.
this, Andy, but if you were to get your flashlight out and point it at the wall, would he notice that? If like by your light, would it attract? Oh, okay, you can do it. He's feeling pretty
No.
brave.
It's in fact, he's not on the motion sensor at the moment.
Okay, maybe when he's close, just for the purpose of experimentation, we should just see if it attracts him.
Okay.
Because I just want to kind of
Alright.
validate my thing about the whatchamacallit, the flamethrower that I said on our first impressions video. I want to see if that's still consistent with other stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll try that. I'm just very wary that we need to find a save point. I think there's one in here. Now, no, maybe I'm completely wrong. Now, the one thing that can get a bit annoying is the actual save points. So they're very few and far between, and if you mess up, it and you die, it can mean that you uh-oh. He's above. It can mean that you have to repeat a fair amount of the game. Oh shoot.
See, oh, he's close. I also like the fact, this is another cool thing with the Oculus Rift that I can add to this. When you're peeking, you can kind of look around as you're... So you can do the peeking thing, but you can move your head... Oh!
Fuck.
You could... I'm not even playing and I got a little bit creeped out there. Yeah, when I was using the Oculus Rift, I could actually turn my head whilst peeking, so I could peek and then look to the left. But if he's on the right as you're peeking, like in front of you, you turn around, he might be looking right at you, like, hello. So, I do like the lemur cat. I've got to say, I from what I'm seeing you playing, and the fact you can hide under stuff and then like lean out and lean back, it's not just a gimmick. Like, it does actually seem to be quite useful in terms of, you know, figuring out where he is and, you know, making sure it's safe.
Yeah, it does actually work quite well. If you're crouching, if you're near a desk or something, you will actually go automatically duck under it. It can be a bit annoying if you're crouching and you're trying to like look at like a PC on top of the desk, for example. All right, so we need to find the room here. So okay. Also, there's things around the room or around the place, like an emergency override. So you can whack that, and it locks a door for about 20 seconds or so. So if the alien is running at you, you can lock it out of some places. He's actually being fairly subdued here. When I actually played this through the first time, I could not get out of this room without the alien. Ooh.
He does seem to be very hot
doing
on topic.
something like that.
One thing, hopefully this alien doesn't rip you to shreds. Obviously, it's very hard to talk about story without spoiling things, but one thing is, from what you've played and the kind of the backstory, I guess, behind it all, have you found that to be very interesting, or has it been very generic and boring and not very gripping? What's it been like for you?
Oh shoot. It's been alright. It's sort of the average sort of story. The idea behind it is you're the sort of daughter of Ellen Ripley, and this is actually in between Alien and Aliens. So it's 15 years after Alien, but about, I think it's 50 years before Aliens.
So it's like a pre-sequel, basically. Like in between.
So yeah, it's set in between. But basically, you're trying to figure out what happened on the Nostromo, which was the mining ship that Ripley, your mother, was on. Oh, here we go. That's the sort of crouching thing. Like, I'm crouching and I want to try and get the flare, but I'm just ducking under the desk.
Yeah.
God damn it! I'm going to stand up. Yeah. So the story seems to be alright at the moment. It's not too gripping, but it's not too bad either. I need to get over. We need to get over here.
So would I be right in saying that most of the charm comes from the actual cat and mouse thing between you and the alien? A lot of the time.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, don't get me wrong. You'll be entertained by the story, I feel, like I have. But I think the downfall of it is really the saving mechanics, and I'm trying to desperately find. As you've probably seen, we haven't actually managed to save our game yet. So if I die,
you have to go all the way back.
We're going straight back to the start. Oh shoot, where is he coming from? He's coming from that way. No, he's coming from...
I think he's coming around the corner. I think you better run. Okay,
what we can do is... You can actually... I'm just panicking here. I'm just hitting all the buttons. You can actually lure him out. So I think he's actually in the vents.
Because he would have shown himself by now.
Yeah. Oh, as you can see, the motion tracker is spazzing out quite a bit. So yeah, I think he's in the vents.
Okay. Could he, if he's in the vents, does he have like certain exit points, or could he just burst through at any point?
I haven't found out yet. That is obviously a vent.
Yeah, you
That
might
is
not
obviously
want to.
not where we want to be. Okay, so while we're just waiting for him to disappear, I'm just going to talk briefly about the crafting system.
All right, cool.
So as you're going through, you pick up different blueprints for things. As you can see, I've got a revolver here, but I found that there's the med kit. Let's just go into the med kit. As you've probably seen me going around collecting different items.
Yeah.
So you can see you've got ethanol, charge packs, blah 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 blah. In order to make like a med kit, we need to have one of each of these 3 things. And in fact, I can't make a med kit because I'm out of injectors there. So let's go back. What can I can't make a noise kit. EMP mine. Okay, so here's something. See, I've got all of these in place already. And then, so you whack all of those items in and you craft it. And it constructs. Now, what I have noticed is if you're halfway through constructing, like if I do this med kit, it uses up the compound B and the bonding agent, and you can't get them back. Or not that I've figured out how to do. So they are stuck there until you finish off.
Oh, I've just noticed the alien.
Hello!
That's a mighty long tail you have there. I wasn't sure if you. It looks like it's still going. The tail looks like it was never ending.
It's gone back the other way. Jesus. All right. I think we're actually near a save point. 'Cause can you hear that sort of beeping sound?
Very vaguely.
That. Oh, in fact, here we go. Here's a pipe bomb. So we can now construct a pipe bomb.
So I'm guessing all of the weapons that you
yeah.
use against the alien are just time buyers, basically. They give you some time to get away.
Yeah, they distract, or there's actually humans and synthetics as well, which are the working Joes. In fact, let's just save it. As you can see, it's saying hostiles nearby. Oh, it was. But to save it, you have to go into this, and it takes about 10 seconds to get in.
But you're good now.
and
You're safe. Like you've saved the game.
That is safe now. So if the alien were to be right behind me while we were saving there, it would load up with the alien right behind you.
Okay, that's not what you want.
No,
Yeah.
but if let's attract. I'll show you the noisemaker quickly, and then we can talk about.
we can experiment. Actually, do you want to try the flashlight though? Just to see if. Obviously, have to find them first.
Oh, wrong button.
He's moving faster. I don't know if you're.
Hello. I think he's back in the vents.
Yeah.
Okay, so. Oh, fuck. What? I can hear him. Oh, God.
That thing opened and you thought.
Every single time they open, that is just. That gets me as well.
So can you climb in the vent and then you'll be going through it and then he could be the other side? Oh, yep, that worked. That worked.
It didn't work first of all. Right, I've chucked a noise. Oh, well, we're dead.
Oh.
No, we're not. Yeah, we're dead.
Okay. Well.
Okay, well, this brings me nicely onto the next part when it's talk about. So, as you said, you can load your current save, but you can actually load the previous save as well. So if the alien does sort of is behind you, then and you save and you completely screw it up, you can actually load back the previous one, which is good in a way. But like I said, this is the sort of part I don't like about it, because if you remember, the last save was right at the start of the video, which was a good however long we've been going for at this moment. So you can lose a lot of time, and it has happened to me, which I don't like.
Here's an interesting thing. When I'm going to compare back to, I know I've been comparing a lot to EGX, but the reason for that is because that's the time when all three of us got to try it out and kind of like had our hands on with it. But when we were there, I was talking about there being different death animations depending on how you're caught and, you know, which way you're facing and other stuff like that. You said you didn't notice that back, when we were doing that. Playing the full game, have you noticed any of that at all?
Yes.
In terms of
yes.
because I'm guessing you've been killed quite a few times. Is it just the same animation over and over again, or have you seen different variations?
No, there are different variations. Like you saw before, there was the sort of it just attacked us with its double mouth. If you're behind it, you can either get stabbed through the chest, or if like you're in a vent and it spots you, you get dragged out of it. So there are a few different animations that you can die with. Oh shit, he's still there. Holdy. Why are you not working? Oh, we are dead now.
I see. So if he can rip that off, there we go. There's a different animation of him ripping off a vent or a locker.
So
he does seem quite smart.
Sometimes,
I've got to say.
Sometimes, if you're like trying to get into a vent and you're panicking a bit, like I was then, it doesn't always seem to work. I don't know whether that's just me being like retarded and not hitting the button enough, or if it's just temperamental. I should probably check where the alien is.
And so you bought this on. This is obviously running on PC. How much did you buy it for? And also other platforms. How much can people pick this up for?
Yeah, so this was on PC for £32, which has got to be the equivalent to about $45. You might want to check that though, and that was off of Steam. It's also available on PS4 and Xbox One, if I'm right. And I do have to say the one thing with it is it has day one DLC.
Ooh.
Which we've all said that we don't like. We're back in this locker again.
Yeah.
Which is one thing that we've all said we don't like. So just be aware of that. It's not too much. It's only a couple of quids, but it is on day one, and it's part of the game that could have been in the final version. I mean, I feel like we have sort of looked over the whole aesthetic of the game completely. But I just want to talk quickly about that before we end. And the alien's probably going to kill us. But I really do like the way that they have made this look and feel like the actual movie. Even to the fact where
the alien comes and kills you.
The alien jumping in there just made me lose my trail of thought.
Saying about the atmosphere.
Even to the sort of a way that they've got all of the sort of monitors and just everything in the game. I really like the way that they've done that. So this has been Alien Isolation. Like we said, it's out on PC, PS4 and Xbox One. And you know what, Matt? I'm really enjoying this. It has its issues.
Which every game does, of course.
But which every game does. Like we're saying, the sort of map and the save points. Although I understand why they've put those save points there. It's sort of to sort of add to that fear level. It's like, well, if I die now, I've lost a lot of the game.
But you'd recommend it?
But yeah, I would recommend it if you can get over those little issues. And there are, in fact, this rewire. Again, this is quite nice, but this is also one of the things that it just seems very redundant in the game. Like, it can turn off the air purification and the alarm system there, but there's, apart from the odd occasion where you can use it to open a door to get some more loot, you don't really use it all. But so it has some features that aren't used effectively, I feel, but it is definitely a perfectly good game, and yeah, I'd recommend it. So thanks for joining me this evening, Matt.
That's all right.
And helping me not poo my pants too much.
I hope I
But
helped
yeah,
break the tension.
yeah. So next time we're gonna play something a little less horrifying. But until then, goodbye. In fact, we should have gone out guns blazing there, shouldn't we?
You're just gonna like
Never find.
run towards.
Ah!
Yeah, that didn't work out too great.